Well, that sucks. Hey everybody, David here. I have the normally quite good but presently non-functional wall peanut here, which I use for trimming my face, and I plugged it into 2 outlets so far, and it does not seem to want to turn on. Should probably turn that back off. So we're gonna rip it apart. Could still probably do with some lucubration like this. Stuff that came with it. I still haven't actually exhausted all of this. Maybe that's a bad thing. I've had this for way more than long enough. I should have gone through it by now. It's not making winding, grinding noises, so I assume something more sinister is broken than merely the blade. Well, let's at least give a shot at opening this thing up. It does have user serviceable screws, so I'm hoping this will be relatively straightforward. So it won't come off yet. Oh, there we go, nice and soft. There we go. That actually seems like a decent job putting the wires in. They've got some degree of give here, and it's got its own detach. But I don't actually know if that's the case. You'd have to ask AVE. He knows about that kind of stuff. None of those solder points look totally busted, but I also know literally nothing about any of this. I mean, this looks a little discolored. Maybe that's broke. My toothbrush appears to be not charging. Well, that maybe should have been the first thing I checked. I really ought to rewrite this thing someday so I can actually read it. I'm almost certain it is. Can you even see the 13 on the side there? Will I focus on that? Yeah. Oh, well that's kind of weird. That's tripped. I don't know what caused that. I mean, there's only like one thing plugged in here. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's the battery. Guess I should test to see if anything else got broken. Nope, that's still running. Let's at least plug it in somewhere else and make sure it works. Yep, sure does. Well, that's exciting. Now I have to figure out how to fix an actual electrical problem. Whoa, hang on a second. Well, that's confusing. Wait a minute, if those are both live, what the f happened? I need a whiteboard, but first I'm going to shape my face. So here's generally what I believe to have been what happened. The clippers didn't work because I had them plugged into an outlet that didn't have power, but the reason I didn't immediately check the breaker was because the lights in the bathroom were on and I assumed those were on the same circuit. I later noticed that my toothbrush wasn't working, so I went over and checked the breaker, and I looked at the little diagram that someone else had put up in Chicken Scratch, and one of the items said M bath, which I mistakenly thought meant master bathroom. Apparently I was wrong. And I flipped that once, even though the breaker was still on, and that did nothing. And it turned out that there was a GFI switch, which I still don't know why it was tripped, but it was in test mode, so I reset that, and that brought power back here. So what I surmised from that was that the lights were actually on 13, M bath, and for whatever reason, both this plug and this plug in the garage both go to 11. Why it was wired like that, I have no idea. This is why electrical work is so much fun. But regardless, I think I got it sorted. So, I should probably rewrite that thing, but I'm not going to because it's too much work. See ya.